Welcome to the Casual Experience.
Hello, casuals. You're welcome to the Casual Experience Show,
Yeah.
where we give you exciting MMA news and updates. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about the UFC 254 happening at the UFC Apex this weekend, and also giving you other exciting MMA gist. And as usual, I'm with one of my friends, Ferdinand.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
No bad, man. That's good.
What's happening?
Well, I was not really happy with what happened towards the weekend.
Last weekend?
Yeah.
So I got all my prediction right. I hope you know.
Well, yeah, it was right, but
I got
all was correct.
I got Fluffy correct.
Yeah, well,
I got the Kumin into correct, and I got Ankalaev. I got Justin Gaethje correct
Justin Gaethje too, yeah.
So I was 100 over 100.
Yeah, you're correct.
What was your predictions?
Yeah,
you were like 1 over 3.
No, I was. Did I say Ankalaev?
Okay, Curtis Blades' fight was cancelled,
Yeah,
so that fight wasn't
Blades
happening.
Also, there was about the 3 fights which I chose.
Yeah.
Blades, Pereira's fight, and Gaethje.
No, but you chose Fizzy.
No, yeah, I didn't choose Gaethje. I'm just talking about the fight in total.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually chose Fizzy to win though, but Gaethje is just too dangerous.
Yes,
sometimes you think about his fighting style, you feel like this guy will never change.
It was like a replica of their first fight.
Yes.
Especially with the uppercuts.
Yeah, the guy is just too
he
good.
kept getting him with the uppercuts whenever they were in the middle, and they started exchanging.
Yes.
When he turned his head to the right, Gaethje, he was always catching him with the uppercuts.
One thing I know about Gaethje and Fizzy, both guys are. This is the guy that actually been has always been a kickboxer previously. That's Fizzy. So I really love the fight, the way it played, and I like the fact that they didn't go down to grappling, wrestling, and all of that stuff. Sometimes it makes fight boring.
Yeah.
But
credit to Fiziev too. He's coming back from an injury,
he's a tough guy.
Leg injury, and he was still using that leg to kick hard.
He's a tough guy. I actually have him on my high.
He was using that leg. And how about Gaethje? 14 fight bonuses.
The guy is just too good.
It seems that every fight he is in, he gets a fight bonus. He gets performance of the night or fight of the night. That night was a fight of performance of the night.
Yeah, because the main event was boring for me.
Yeah, and credit to Fiziev too. He won an extra 50K.
Those guys are good.
But the main event, well, it was how I expected it to play out.
Well, I actually wanted it to go I wanted it to go harder and further than the way it went, but it didn't actually go as planned. Because you could see Pereira, the fight was boring. Like, to me, I can't actually go back and watch that fight. Not because I chose Pereira to win, but it was too boring to be a main event. Like, look at Pereira's.
I think
both sides was boring.
I think it's because of Pereira's reputation.
Yeah.
All his fights, and that's why people like him.
Yes.
That's why the fans like him, because he's just a born killer. He knocks people out.
Exactly.
And so you expect all his fights to be like that, which is near impossible, because you can't have a fighter always knocking out his opponents.
Yeah.
And then he met an opponent that is faster than him. He's also a counter fighter like him.
Yeah. And
came with a very proper game plan.
Well, his game plan for me, the fact that I didn't want him to win. I already knew that since Pereira has his mind up the heavyweight, he's not going to come up tall in that fight.
I don't know what the dispute is and confusion is about who won the fight. There are many.
Yes.
There are many area of the MMA cycle that feels Pereira won.
Yes.
Including Ariel Helwani. Helwani thinks
Pereira won the fight. Yeah.
But even me as a casual watching it, like Ankalaev clearly won it.
No.
He clearly won it.
No.
Due to pressure. When you say no, why do you say no?
The reason why I say no was because the only thing this guy was trying to do was just to block Pereira and the kick. Look at what's it called?
And what was Pereira only trying to do?
Pereira was even coming with anyway. This guy tried in some rounds, which he won, Ankalaev. But man,
they just had 5 rounds.
5 rounds.
So
for me, I feel
which of the rounds did he win?
I feel Ankalaev. I felt like he won the 4th round only for me. Pereira won 1, 2, 3 down to the 5th round.
I don't think you watched.
I watched the fight. It was in the morning.
You don't watch fights properly.
It was in the morning. I watched.
You don't watch fights properly.
No.
Because Pereira clearly won the 1st round.
The fourth round was won by Ankalaev.
The first round wasn't there wasn't too much activities because
it was a boring fight.
Pereira won the first round.
Yeah.
Just due mainly to his leg and calf kicks.
Yes,
that was it.
Yes.
The second round, Ankalaev clearly, undoubtedly won. Now the third round is what brought about confusion. And then there wasn't activity in the third round. But if there wasn't activity in the third round, what do you count? What criteria do you count? Hold on.
Okay.
The only activity that was happening in that fight was Ankalaev holding on to Pereira and grappling him against the cage. Pereira, on the other hand, wasn't doing anything in that third round. Because at the end of the round, he said that was why Ankalaev just held him against the cage. You allowed him to hold you against the cage. You're a fighter. If you're fighting and someone holds you against the cage, what's your duty? Or if you allow him to hold you against the cage?
Yeah, he's getting the point.
He won the third round.
Yeah, he's getting the point.
Ankalaev won the fourth round, which you agree with.
Yeah, he won the fourth
round. And Pereira won the fifth round.
Yeah.
So
it was. I felt like I always say, I feel like if you're fighting a title holder, whenever you're fighting, you just we need a decisive winning. I don't want this situation whereby you're competing against a champion and you're coming up with some. It was boring for me. I won't lie to you. It was one of the most boring championship fights I've ever seen.
Well, we can't always have exciting championship fights. It's just like Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva in his heyday with all his knockouts and all his flashy moves. Had boring fights.
Yes.
That's just meant it happens. And one of the factors, and DC was alluding to it, one of the factors I see too is, man, that guy has fought.
Who's that?
Pereira. He's fought for three titled fights in 7 months. That's crazy.
The guy is good. I feel like that's what makes you a fighter. He look at Ankalaev and most of the guys in the roster. Ankalaev has been there for over how many years? He has now been a champion. So this guy, his achievements actually surpassed most fighters.
Obviously, the UFC brass don't favor him being the champion because you can see it in other fighters like him. They feel that he was just going to kill the division's excitement. See how many fights Belal had to fight before they gave him the championship fight. See how many fights Leon Edwards had to, Edwards had to win 11 fights before they gave him his title fight. And I feel that's what they were just trying to do. They know you could when there was a video where Bruce Buffer was showing Dana White the scorecard. The announcement card where he was going to announce. You could see Dana White was like, "Oh my God, what have we entered?" But in the fighting scene, aside from you being exciting and you being a knockout artist and being flashy and all, skill matter, and on that day and game plan on that day, Ankalaev.
You're right. Was his game plan was perfect.
Yes,
because he could come up with a proper game plan that was able to suppress Pereira's striking, and he shows that it's not about. And I want to know about kudos to Pereira too. His defense was nice, but he didn't actually take advantage of his striking too. Because this guy, you could see his game plan was to block him from his left hook. Which actually worked. He's
a southpaw too.
Yes.
Ankalaev is a southpaw, so they nullified themselves in that.
Exactly.
I think what the inactivity came about was in the counters.
Yes.
For two counter fighters to be fighting, you have to be countering your counters. And he had opportunities. Pereira clearly had opportunities. There were times that he had. See the left kick he gave him now.
Yes,
that partially caught him.
Yeah, I saw it.
But he had opportunity. There are times he had opportunity to counter, but the threat of Ankalaev's wrestling was so evident, and that's why he was toughing all the takedown. He was toughing all Ankalaev's takedown. Why? He wasn't standing square.
Exactly. He was just pushed down to the cage side. And do you know one thing I realized in this fight? Do you know, I give kudos to Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Why? Because Jan Blachowicz he defeated Easy, gave Pereira value for money. gave Ankalaev, had a draw with Ankalaev too. I feel like this guy has fought with the three monsters and still proved to them that he has given them war because
Blahovic has always been a
Blahovic
top
is,
prospect.
like-
He's always been a top fighter in the light heavyweight division.
like
though.
that guy is actually. I had to go back and rewatch most of his fights he had with the three guys, and I got to realize that that guy was good. He was.
But they're already talking about the rematch.
Well, it's not going to happen. We already know.
I feel so too.
It's not going to happen.
What do you think is going to happen?
It's just like when Conor McGregor had a fight with Khabib. He said, the rematch, how they made it popular. It's going to happen soon, and we are still here.
I gave a prediction about before the fight. I said Pereira is going to lose, and then he's going to move up to heavyweight.
Yeah, that was what his own intention was, the heavyweight. He has always had it in mind, John Jones or Aspinall or whoever that wins. But the fight game is not all about the future. Think about what you have in the table yet. Win your main fight and think about the next cadre to move on to. I give Pereira kudos for his aspiration and having it in mind to fight in the middleweight, light heavyweight, and being champion on double weights and aiming the heavyweight. Well, I feel like in most double champions, Pereira is going to be one of the greatest because if he wins in the heavyweight, which I don't know, is going to be difficult because Dane Cormier say it's going to be difficult for him to go to the heavyweight and get a belt because as if lost since he's unable to survive Ankalaev, it's going to be difficult to fight the monsters because
I think he's still one of the greatest martial arts artists to ever grace the UFC.
Yeah,
just for his activities
he's
and
complete.
all he's done.
He's complete.
For all he's done, that guy.
He's complete. He even gave Dana White a lot of money.
See, and Bruce Buffer announced him as the one and the only. Bruce Buffer doesn't announce
Conor
anybody.
McGregor, John Jones,
and him.
That's
the only three persons ever is announced as the one
and only.
The only.
Like seriously, it's actually nice.
Yes.
I love that about one thing about the UFC, which actually thrilled me is their professionalism. All of them are actually dope in what they do, and they have these take on every fighter. We already know every fighter is important, but there are more fighters there are few fighters that are more important than the rest because. Think about Conor McGregor. I'm now trying to place Pereira in Conor McGregor's cadre because of his achievement and these are fighters that has never ever run from a fight. They've never come up with any injuries or whatsoever. Because I could remember Tony Ferguson saying, complaining about Khabib recently that when they were having a weigh in with the fights and Khabib's trainer was close to him and he got to see him train and he got to, then after a few minutes he got to realize that Khabib had run out of the contest with him and he felt like Khabib's trainer saw him train and that was what actually happened.
And talking about Conor McGregor also, he sent a tweet out that to Joe Rogan specifically that he wants to be on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Well, it's going to be like when Trump went to Joe Rogan's podcast. The view is going to be mad.
Well, that's true though, but I feel different about him actually tweeting that out. It just shows that his shine is already going off. No, Conor McGregor generally, what he does, as in what he's been doing recently, is whenever there is a super match or a super fight, and there are a lot of action going in, he starts chiming in with tweets, starts putting in controversial tweets out just to put himself in relevance. But this last pay-per-view, there wasn't anything exciting, so he couldn't tweet out. And he tweeted out that he wants to be on Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan hasn't responded. Maybe he should just come to our own podcast now.
Well, if he can pay for his own etiquette, no problem.
He doesn't need to be here now. He doesn't need to be here. He doesn't need to be here to be on our own podcast.
We can have him anywhere.
We'll rejuvenate his career back.
It's going to know the guy has always been, for me, right? Okay, I've been a fanboy of Conor McGregor right from time, so this guy has achieved a lot with his career, and business-wise too, he's doing well, Proper 12, Forge Styles, and a whole lot of things, which is August suits too as well.
He's removed himself from most of the directorship because of the rape incident though.
Well, the rape incident, one thing about the Europeans, once you're being accused of something, whether you're guilty or not, it's going to affect you in a lot, in your career especially.
His matter is in the court and they will keep they'll keep talking
I
about
just want
that.
him to come back to his normal lifestyle.
I don't think Conor is going to come back to fighting.
Do you know?
So let's just talk about him coming to the podcast.
Okay.
And what you feel about it.
I feel like it's going to be a blast because he's coming up with his he has about 40 something million followers on his IG.
Yeah, he's the most followed on UFC.
Yeah, so
and he's still the most popular.
Exactly. And he's coming with his train, his Irish boys, and the whole world, in the whole MMA's world.
Yeah.
There's no way you talk about MMA without mentioning Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan is the most popular.
Do you think he'll be interested? You think Joe Rogan will be interested in that? He's not responded.
Joe Rogan loved it. Yeah. Joe Rogan is also a controversial guy too.
Yeah.
So
number one podcast now.
both guys are good.
Yeah.
What they're doing.
And then that news is Jalen Turner. He retires.
Whenever they lost, they tend to look for what's to
He's just 29. For me, I don't think that's Jalen Turner's problem. He is, when you see him fight, you know this is a skilled fighter, right? And the issue I think with him is skill versus fight IQ. He seems to have the good precept of what fighting is, but when he's in there, he loses his fighting IQ. He doesn't think on the motion. I feel.
Remember when
he was in that guy's guard?
Yeah.
He was in that guy's guard, fully in control.
Yeah.
And the guy just threw up a triangle and caught him in the triangle. I'm like, I mean, for your years and experience of fighting, and maybe it just dawned on him that the fighting thing is not his thing.
That's always talk
because
about
if his age, he has age on his side. If he's skilled, he is a very good skilled fighter. If it's the aesthetic of his looks and appearance, he has the body type of a fighter.
Yeah.
So,
do you know why do you remember when Sheikh said there are two things that matter? You can have you have to practice some styles a couple of times in order for you to have it in your back of your mind that this is what I can do. Sometimes it just happen.
Yeah.
It's not like you actually want it to happen on other sports. So I feel like he should not give up for me yet. He should still give himself some hope because he's not the last to lose. So.
And have you been hearing of this new fighting group, the Fighting Nerds?
No.
You've not heard of them? That's where Fluffy fights now.
Wow, really?
Yeah, there's this light heavyweight too, Caio Boraro,
Yeah, I know of them.
that has that tattoo on him.
Yeah, I know about him.
There is
they have a separate group apart from the.
No, there is just the way fighters have different
like
gyms.
Teams,
yeah,
right?
guys,
Okay. Team, yeah.
So there is a particular gym called the Fighting Nerds, and they have all their fighters right now in the UFC are undefeated in the UFC.
Wow.
Fluffy is undefeated. There is this guy now that is going to be fighting on this card, 314, where Volk is fighting on. He's fighting John Silva. He's fighting this guy that has theory. No, light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, okay.
Yes. They have Carlos Pretis, they have Caio Boraro, Fluffy,
so how many
and
are there?
Thiago Moses.
How many are there? I need to pay my attention to
this. They have about 6 fighters in the UFC. But Thiago Moses, I don't know. Thiago Moses has been released from the UFC. So right now they have 4
I saw the news.
undefeated fighters in the UFC. And Justin Gaethje, he's making a case for the title. He said he wants to fight the title.
I saw it, and it's something that I know that it's during his last loss he had with Max Holloway. That really, I like fighters that after their loss they tend to come back stronger. So this is what makes you a fighter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember when a kid in America actually thought Justin Gaethje was just a random guy and he attacked him and the guy gave him a business of his life.
No,
there's a video,
I can't remember that.
Yeah, there's a video about that. Most times, these are you feel like they are regular guys, and I like his responsiveness towards his career and what he wants to. He's a guy that has been an undisputed champion before, and he still has the test for that belt. This is why I want Easy to come up with. Not just feel like, my losses he has had enough of me. I need to come back stronger the way I have.
So he feels, maybe in his mind, he feels Islam is a lesser version of Habib.
He should,
and I feel he's wrong.
No, I like it like this. I like fighters that believe that the sky is not their limit. I like him for this. I want him. I want Dana White to give him.
Every fighter wants to fight for the belt. Even Aman Sarukan still want to fight for the belt, even though he had his issues before his fight with Islam.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Okay,
Sarukan will
Poirier
always-
just has one fight left that is calling his retirement fight. I mean, there is Ilya there. You
This is what
know,
I'm talking about.
so
Yeah.
well, he's making his own case, and the UFC will always give exciting fights to the fans.
Dana White loves his fighting style. There's something
Yes.
Dana White said recently. He said if you're coming out from the back room and you're not being cheered, you're not being booed, he said he doesn't want you in the UFC.
Yeah,
This is a guy that after winning, he
you have
goes
to
back.
you have to get a reaction.
Exactly.
He wants
Something,
a reaction.
yeah.
And then for these card, this weekend fights,
Yeah.
UFC 254,
Vettori.
UFC Apex.
Yeah.
You have we have Marvin Vettori,
Yeah.
the Italian dream, the one that I don't know his problem with Easy that
yeah.
has. So Easy just always look at him that what
can
is
beat you anytime.
what is wrong with
Keep
this guy?
coming, yeah.
What's your fascination with me? And he's going to be fighting Roman Dolidze.
Yeah.
I think this is their second
Yes,
fight.
yeah.
Their first fight was in 2023, and he won Roman by unanimous decision. And Roman till today still feels he won because
Yeah.
he just said all what Vettori was doing was giving him calf kicks and leg kicks, and I feel it's going to be an interesting fight. What do you think?
Well, it boils back to what Pereira said about Anchor Life too. You know, most of these guys feel like they are not the judges anyway, but they never knew that most of the little things they feel like it doesn't cause any harm. Like what Pereira said about him that he's still fresh and all of that stuff. Roman should actually. I feel like I'm very happy that Dana White has given him the opportunity to prove himself in the second fight, which is going to happen this weekend. And this guy has actually been through a lot in his life, growing up as a kid. You know, he has been he played football for 8 years, being a professional goalkeeper for 3 years. That's Roman. So I feel like he never gets tired. He still have a lot to prove to the UFC that he got it up. And to Vettori too, this guy is too, for me. I like his tenacity. I like his responsiveness towards fighting, and I like his stamina. His body balance is just top notch, you know. And I like the fact that the fact that Easy has like given up 30% of the UFC people that he fought with still believe that there's hope for them. So I want them to still be a problem in that division. So
Yeah,
that's my view.
he's ranked 11.
Yeah.
Roman is ranked 16th. So I guess if he wins Vettori, he will take up his position. But
It's not
as I
easy.
said, the age is not on their side.
38, 36. They are
No,
both-
it's 36 and 31. Vettori is 31 years
sorry,
old.
Sorry. He's,
Roman
this
is
guy
36
I'm
years
thinking
old.
of, yeah.
And Vettori which is unusual of him.
Yeah.
He didn't fight all through last year. I don't know what I think. Maybe
was
he
so
had
surprised.
he had some health issues or something. His last fight was in 2023, and Roman was so active in 2024.
Yeah.
You know, he had 2 bouts and he won, which was against Anthony Smith and Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
So it's going to be form against out of form,
Yeah.
and then it will now be youth age going on the opposite ways.
It's going to be terrible.
So I feel it's going to be an engaging fight. Since we didn't have much of a contest
yeah.
last week. Most fight cards like this, first night like this would come up trump. And there are a lot of other fights on it. You were saying something. These are Nigerian guy there.
The Chidi, right?
Njokuani.
Well, Chidi, the guy is actually good. One thing I love about his fighting style is he never gets tired. He's really
the Chidi guy.
Yeah, he's really a black mamba, you know. So
but the guy is fighting is good too. He's fighting Elizeu Zaleski.
He's a former kickboxer and
Chidi.
Yeah, so his brother actually introduced him to UFC, and he got distracted with fighting with MMA. Sorry, and he went back to skateboarding, and from skateboarding went back to the UFC. So he has been distracted with a lot of things, and I feel like he's going to be a problem to that division. Having the fact that he has an older brother that has been in the heavyweights and the UFC for a very long time before he came in, and I'm very, very glad that we have black people, black Nigerians, and most especially not just Nigerians, Africans. The fact that I was born in Texas, so they are really showing what they have in the UFC. So which is actually nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be an engaging fight too. He's had a lot of MMA fights. He's had 37, 35 fights.
Losses, 8 losses, right?
10 losses.
10 losses.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So he's 6 years old.
That's not bad.
Alexander Hernandez is fighting too. The guy that was, remember him? That was making mouth to. What's this guy that Conor beat? The cowboy. Donald Cerrone. Yeah, and Cerrone taught him a lesson.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, and that was what dwindled
it was bloody.
It dwindled his confidence at that time.
Yeah,
but he's coming up. And there are a lot of other exciting fights. The one that is going to even catch my fancy most is the female fight on the card. You remember Sam Hughes?
Yeah,
I don't know if she's the Olympian that has a thick body build, and everyone thinks she's going to be upcoming. And
I remember her. And one thing I love about most of these, especially the female bouts.
Yes.
No matter the division, they always come up with one dramatic stuff, which is actually good to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realized recently that the female bout is getting more interesting than the male bouts in some aspects, some fights anyway.
Yeah, because the level of skill and talent are getting better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And their division, I don't know if Dana White was thinking about creating more
female.
Yeah.
There are much female fighters, so I feel like the weight classes are limited to the flyweight and the strawweight. That it is. Even Amanda that used to fight at 145, I think, featherweight. I don't think.
Yeah, she won't be able to.
They won't do that
she
anymore.
Won't be able to, because it's just too. I feel like she can she actually make up to that weight again, because she's getting bigger and everything.
Amanda.
Yeah.
She's not coming back now, is she?
I don't think so.
She's not coming back. If she comes for the UFC to tempt her out of retirement, that should be something.
I don't think so.
That should be something. She has her life good. She has a baby. She has a good life, and she's won beyond her own expectations.
She dominated that double division for over how many years, and since Ronda Rousey left.
Willie is a new star of the female division. I feel.
Oh my God! You just blew my mind.
Yes, Willie is in terms of star power, and in terms of having the support of a region. That's what UFC like. Just like
Asia,
Conor, has the European region on his back. She has that. Okay, she has the whole of the Asian. She's the biggest martial artist.
Yeah. What about Shevchenko?
Shevchenko is there, but time and age isn't on our part again.
I would like to see Shevchenko really.
They can create a super. They can create a super fight by doing that.
I just want something like that, because these guys.
I'm sure they are looking at it. They're looking at it.
Shevchenko is just too bloody.
Yes, but I feel Willie is going to win, Asha.
Do you know that Shevchenko is complete too?
Obviously, no one is doubting that.
Like too complete, like.
No one is doubting that. Now she's not using her wrestling more. It's like you don't know, say, okay, all these young killers now.
They are grapplers.
They are good strikers.
Yes. I don't know if it was her what's it called? Her bout she had with Amanda Nunes, Shevchenko.
I watched both fights.
It was crazy. Like, who do you think won most of the fight? Like, inside the two fights, who do you think won? Like the first bout.
Amanda clearly won that now.
Exactly. Okay, what about the second bout?
The second fight, I feel Shevchenko won.
Me too.
Because she was even saying it at the end of the fight that look at her face, look at me, I don't have any damage, and count my strikes and all. She was so furious at the post interview.
For me, I feel like she won the fight.
Yeah,
she won the fight. It was so. I just want to ask, what about Usman? When is he coming back to the UFC? Because
Usman,
he has been off for a very, very long time, and
you're not going to see him until after Ramadan, I think.
It's
going to be after Ramadan.
I want our brother back.
Yeah.
I just
and I feel he's at the point of his life where he feels if he needs to fight, he has to be totally healthy.
Yeah.
That he has sacrificed so much in terms of when he was defending the belt.
Yeah.
He's fought injured. Like
Yeah.
I know most fighters always have one or two
Against
going into
Kobe Covington, the second bout, she was injured. Against Game Breed, the second bout.
most fighters, not giving an excuse for his injuries and all. Most fighters always going
even the short
injured
notice against Kamza.
So
he was
like
100%,
most fighters going injured. So let's remove the injury. Let's like we recognize the injury,
which is normal. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like for now, he's at the point in his life where he
doesn't want
feels,
any
yes, he has
issue,
to be 100% LD. And then he has things on the side now. He has AKO there.
Yeah.
He has his podcast with Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, Triple C.
Yes, a blooming podcast. You guys should check it out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name. I listened to a lot of
even
podcasts.
today.
Yes,
you know, and
and me, one thing I always notice is once fighters starts drifting towards
different
media obligations and towards podcasts,
they're living.
They are not. Yeah, they are living. They are already. They already want one foot out of the door already.
Yeah.
Because how do you have the time to go to training to? It's just like saying you won't see John Jones doing that now. Or you won't see Usman still remain an elite fighter.
He's a top 10 among the pound for pound. Yeah.
Still,
yeah.
Hamzat said Usman is his strong, toughest fight so far.
Yeah.
That he stopped all his fighting.
I felt like if that fight would have been 5-round fight, Usman would have won.
Everyone says that, and everyone knows that.
Kamza is not a 5-round fighter.
Yes.
Once you succeed his first round, he's off. Against Gilbert Bones.
Yeah.
He lost that fight. For me, I don't know about other persons.
Yes.
Kamza Shimawa.
Yes.
Gibbon. I was saying
he lost the fight.
He lost the fight. I don't know the judges if they are high. I
don't go follow you argue that one. If you say you lost that fight, you have to. I think before you be saying this, you have to be watching those fights. You can't. Why would you say that?
I'm going to send you the video shot after this.
What video?
Yeah, about just some
video of fight that I watch live.
If you can rewatch it again and see.
I don't need to rewatch it. You are the one that needs to rewatch it.
No.
Stop. No, they talk that. Someone that is seeing you now would think that you don't know about fights. How do you be saying that?
Shimaev.
When we are done, hold on. When we are done, our producers will watch the fight and see. But don't say that now. How would you say
he lost that fight? For me, he lost that fight. There's no way you look at everything.
How did he win it? Say how he won it.
The judges actually have the final say for them to come up with most fights.
No, forget what the judges said. The judges said it comes as one. You said Gilbert won it. How did he win it?
The strikes and everything. The strikes. He was just thinking about taking him down and all of that stuff. But takedown actually was anyway. Had the point.
The Sabi for talk about fight already. They talk that now.
No. He lost the fight. He lost the fight.
Why they talk like that now?
He lost that fight. Seriously,
guys, it's a wrap here.
Welcome to the Casual Experience.